You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and after a few years, the Frost and Fire Festival is back. June 17th and 18th, 2022 in Derry, Northern Ireland. This is Frost and Fireland Part 2. So last week we heard about past festivals and the history of Frost and Fire. This week we're going to get into night one of this year's Frost and Fire Festival, talk to some of the bands, hear some tracks. So like I said, June 17th and June 18th, 2022, for the first time, Frost and Fire comes to Northern Ireland. Now, Night Demon has played in Ireland before, but for a lot of these bands, it's their first time. So here's Jarvis.
Night Demon has played in Northern Ireland before. So for those of you who don't know, I live part-time in Northern Ireland, and I have since late 2020. And I really just fell in love with the city of Derry. It's a perfect environment for heavy metal. Not that there is even really a heavy metal scene here. There's really not. There's a group of Irish rockers that get together and support each other very much in the underground. But there's not really any metal bands out here. But that's okay, because it was the same thing in Ventura when we started. There weren't any other heavy metal bands in Ventura besides Night Demon and Sirathungal. And through that, we created a scene. People were showing up, and local people were seeing what was happening. And you saw metal bands start to pop up. It's kind of the same idea of what we're trying to do here. But again, it's a destination, and that's why we want people to come here. We want them to come here and experience this for themselves and not just be another face in the crowd. But yeah, Night Demon has played Northern Ireland. We've played Belfast twice. We started coming over in 2017. We've done Dublin twice. And, we do plan on doing a full Irish tour at some point next year. I mean, hopefully like anywhere from 6 to 10 shows. It's an amazing country. It's perfectly built for heavy metal. And we would love to be ambassadors for heavy metal and help put this place on the metal map.
It's pretty interesting that we're going to be throwing Frost and Fireland in Ireland. We've done Frost and Fire London, but we were already in London a few times before we did the festival. Unlike this, where Ireland we only went there once. So it's pretty cool that we're doing it, and because Jarvis has been spending so much time in Ireland, it makes sense to put the festival there.
Yeah, so Northern Ireland has always been good to us. I remember the first time going there, I think it was Belfast, 2017. Just a good vibe. The fans are they're really, I don't know, they're just a little more excited there, or I don't know, they're just more passionate, I guess. good show, and everybody there is really, really cool. The people, locals are great. The accent is amazing. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for us Americans to understand what exactly people might be saying, but all in all, good stuff. I do remember one specific thing. I'm pretty sure this was in Belfast, but we went out after the show, just to cruise around town, and it was just fucking wild on the streets. I'm pretty sure it was a Friday or Saturday night, and the streets were just packed with people. We ended up going into a McDonald's, and it looked like literally there was a concert going on in there. There was a show. There was just people were just like in front of the counters. It was like the front row at a freaking punk show, Everybody was hammered. People were just like falling over. There was some chick passed out on the ground, people just ordering McDonald's, and then like the whole restaurant, every single table was just full of trash from leftovers that people ate. It was insane. It was a crazy scene. Like, they were so busy, there was no way the staff could keep up with, all these raging alcoholic college kids just destroying the place. So that was cool. Didn't really have much to do with music, but, it's a memory.
The 2022 lineup for Frost Fireland came about just as a necessity for me to get bands to Ireland. Same kind of concept as what London was to get Sarah Thungle to the UK, but Sarah Thungle's never played in Ireland. Satan has never played in Ireland. Midnight has never played in Ireland. Witch Hazel has never played in Ireland. Mythra has never played in Ireland. So it's like, come on, let's make this happen, There's no other Irish shows planned for any of the bands on this festival. So if you live anywhere in Ireland or in the UK, you pretty much have to come here to see the bands, but that's the point. And so, I'm good friends with all of these bands. I'm friends with their managers and agents if I don't manage them myself. And the idea is to get the crew, to get the gang together so we can put on an amazing concert for the Irish people and invite all of our friends from all other countries that support Frost and Fire to come out here and kick this thing off again with us and just have a good time. And that's what this is all about. It's about having a great fucking time.
So the venue for this festival is the Nerve Center in Derry. So it's a multi-function, 550 capacity music venue and lounge. And there's also an after party at the 720. It's really close to the main venue. I looked it up on Google Maps and says it's a 1-minute walk, so pretty close. Here's Jarvis.
The Nerve Center is a great little intimate venue. It's an upstairs venue. The room fits about 500 people in it. We're trying to keep it small and intimate this year, but it's inside the castle walls of Derry. The castle walls are about a mile in circumference, and they've been up for over 400 years, and it's the last fully walled city in all of Europe, I believe. And these walls have never been breached through all these battles over time. There's a lot of history within these walls, and it's like, again, it's perfect for fucking heavy metal. But the Nerve Center is a great venue. They do shows all the time. Originally, I wanted, in the tradition of Frost and Fire, I wanted to do multiple venues. I was looking at the Guild Hall, which is a council-run venue. It's an incredibly beautiful hall. Also, St. Colum's Hall, which is a legendary venue that's been around here for 100 years at least. But the thing, St. Colum's Hall they have some renovations that need to be done. With the Guild Hall, it's a government council-run venue. They were very receptive to doing the show, but with the COVID protocols changing all the time, they really couldn't guarantee me a capacity and said, hey, there's a possibility if the pandemic comes back in that, we may have to cut capacity at your event. And that's a risk that I just couldn't take. So given the current culture and the current times we live in, I decided to go to the Nerve Center, which is a tried and true battle-tested venue that does shows all the time, to make sure that this happens. The vibe there is much more relaxed. And at the end of the day, you shoot for the stars and land in the clouds. You have to go for the things that you really want aesthetically, and I tried to do that with these other venues. But again, it's better to make sure that this thing just happens. And that's what's important. And that's why we made the decision to do it there. We do have after parties happening at the 720, which is a bar down the street from the Nerve Center. So those kick off at midnight on Friday, June 17th and Saturday, June 18th after the main events. The first night, we have Russ Tippins from Satan. He's doing his whole solo thing. It's amazing. He's got an electric guitar and he's got some like backing music, and it's just, he's an incredible talent. He's going to entertain us that night. And then Dread Sovereign, who is supposed to open the show on Saturday, is actually going to do the after party, which works out better because they're going to play an extended set and do a bunch of metal covers with a bunch of us and our friends. And so that's going to be awesome. They couldn't get to the venue on time to open the gig because Primordial, which is another amazing Irish band that shares the same singer as Dread Sovereign, they are playing Hellfest in France the day before. So everybody's busy, but we're all going to make this fucking thing work out.
So let's get into the lineup. So night one, first up is Darkest Era. So from their website, Darkest Era has developed a fresh Celtic metal sound by fusing the twin guitar-driven old-school heavy metal styles of Thin Lizzy and Iron Maiden with the darker side of Irish folklore and mythology.
First up, we have opening the entire festival, the Irish band Darkest Era. This band is fucking awesome. I would say they definitely straddle the line of traditional metal, but definitely have some more modern elements, which I typically don't care for, but this band just does it extremely well. I found out about this band years ago. Metal Blade had actually put out a record of theirs, and I was just really into it. I've never had the chance to see the band live, so I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really grateful that these guys stepped up and came out to play. You know, there's a common misconception that there are no metal bands in Ireland. There actually, there are. There was some that have broken up that I really wanted to get, like Rabid Bitch of the North or Terminus. But, it's great to see that Darkest Era has hung around for as long as they have, and they were willing to accept the invitation to come up to Derry for this festival.
Hi, this is Aid from Darkest Era. We're a Northern Irish band, and we play dark, pagan heavy metal. We're super excited to play Frost Fireland. It's actually our first time playing Derry, believe it or not. I was lucky enough to attend one of the Californian editions, and if this is half as good as that, then we're in for something very special indeed. The track you're going to hear is An Ancient Fire Burns. It's off our first album, and the song is sort of a call to arms to all vagabonds, heathens, and hellraisers out there.
Lead me
So that was Darkest Era. They opened night 1. Next up for the first night of Frost and Fireland is Mythra.
Mythra, yeah. Mythra from Newcastle, England. Again, great guys. We've played with them a handful of times. They've played, Frost and Fire and Ventura before. Really great band, really good dudes, really, really cool people. It's funny, when I first met them, I'd never heard the band before, but I immediately fell in love with what they were doing and just them as people. They're some of the nicest, really genuine fucking people you've ever met. I remember one time we stayed at their drummer's studio one time when we were in Newcastle, I think, and had a bit of a rager there after hours through the early mornings. Good times. Looking forward to seeing those guys again.
Mythra, we've known Mythra for quite some time. Great guys. Never a problem with them, and they're always super stoked to do anything that we're doing, so it's very good.
Next up on the Friday night bills, one of my favorite new wave of British heavy metal bands, Mythra. These guys are from Newcastle, England, and I can't say enough about their debut, the Death and Destiny EP, with the title track on there and the song UFO. These are songs that, when I got into the new wave of British heavy metal as a young kid, I was lucky enough. I mean, this is some pretty obscure stuff. A lot of people know about the band these days, but I was lucky enough to have a friend that had a copy of this, of the original 7-inch. And when I heard this stuff, I was like, holy fuck, it's amazing. It's really trippy to think that I've become such close friends with these guys over the years. And we did bring them out to Ventura for their very first and only ever U.S. gig. And that was pretty incredible. We brought them out for Frost and Fire 3. So it's another band that's in the Night Demon family, and we like to have them around just for the simple fact that they are some of the coolest guys that you'll ever meet, and they really have the right spirit. They are a Frost and Fire alumni, and they definitely deserve to be here.
Hi, this is John Roach of new wave of British heavy metal band Mythra. Mythra are one of the earliest new wave of British heavy metal bands, releasing the Death and Destiny EP in 1979. We reformed in 2015 and have been active ever since. We're super stoked to be playing Frost and Fireland in Derry this year and looking forward to sharing the Mythra magic with our Irish metal brothers and sisters. In 1979, Mythra released the Death and Destiny EP. One track from the EP quickly became an anthem and a live favourite. This is Killer.
Never run hell. With a chill, enjoy the view.
up on night one is another band. They're from Ventura, California. You might have heard of this band before.
Night Demon. You ever heard of these guys? They're pretty good. They're all right. Look, I mean, us playing our own festival, why not? I don't care. We always put ourselves, I feel, in the proper spots on the billing. We're not like one of these bands like, hey, we're putting on our own festival, so we're the headliner. You know, it's nothing like that. There's no ego trip. And, you know, obviously, everybody that listens to this podcast knows pretty much everything about this band and our love for the game. And we're obviously honored to be playing on these festivals, even if we're putting them on and curating them. But we also feel that we pull our own weight here, and we have proudly carried the torch for this kind of music, and we will represent in full effect this night. And I think we should play, you know, to be proper, the cover version of the Thin Lizzy classic, The Sun Goes Down, but not the studio version because everybody's heard that. We actually played this song live at the Hell's Heroes Fest in Houston, and I thought it went really well. There's a tape of some video from the balcony, but I think the sound is actually pretty decent, and you get a good sense of how this song sounds live.
There is a demon
Hey guys, Nesbitt here. If you'd like to support Night Demon and this podcast, the best way to do it is to become a Night Demon subscriber. Not only will you be doing your part to support a true heavy metal band out there really living it, you'll also gain access to a ton of extras. Bonus audio content, a subscriber-only merch store with rare items from the band's archives. You can stream never-before-heard demos and unearth live concerts from the live vaults. Communicate with the other Night Demon diehards on an exclusive subscriber forum, and gain early access to all press releases, album pre-orders, new merchandise, and a ton more. And another thing that I think is pretty cool is Night Demon will be donating 10% of every subscription fee to the Metal Cares Foundation, which is a charitable fund the band started in 2014 to aid those in our metal community. So head over to nightdemon.net/subscriber. and join us as we make heavy metal history together as one. And on a side note, I'll personally think you're a grade A badass.
You can't talk about Irish metal without talking about the band Gama Bomb. Gama Bomb is an amazing thrash metal band from Ireland. They've been on the go for a couple decades now. And really for the next generation, the next wave of metal and thrash, they have been big-time torchbearers. And in Ireland, they are definitely within the top 3 biggest bands from the island. For, like I said, for a couple decades running. I'm really, really proud to have these guys out. They have a couple guys that live in England now that we're flying out for this. And it's just cool to be able, I'm proud to be able to say that Night Demon's putting on a festival in Ireland, but also bringing Irish people together and getting this band together and bringing them on their own home tour, on their own home turf to come out and fucking kill it. So this will be definitely a high energy set from Gama Bomb coming up. So headlining the first night on Friday, June 17th is going to be none other than Brian Downey's Alive and Dangerous. So Brian Downey was the drummer for Thin Lizzy, one of our favorite bands of all time, as everybody knows, and definitely the biggest and most beloved band ever from Ireland. I don't care what people say about U2. Thin Lizzy has the hearts of the Irish people and all hard rock and metal heads around the world.
Brian Downey's Alive and Dangerous. I mean, we're getting into bucket list category here. Brian Downey is one of the most underrated drummers of all time. Drummer from Thin Lizzy. He was in the band from the beginning, and now he's doing his own thing. And their band is great. I've seen some footage of them live, and as far as like, you know, compared to what, you know, Scott Gorham may be doing with his version of Thin Lizzy, you know, whatever they call it these days, I think Downey's version is a lot more like traditional, you know. Yeah, the band is really good. They keep it kind of old school with their vibe and their look and their sound and everything. So I'm super excited to fucking witness that. And rumor has it, there might be, you know, I'm trying to weasel my way up on stage with those guys to do a song or two. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully we can make that happen.
Brian Downey was the longest standing member in Thin Lizzy. He actually was on all the records. He withstood all the lineups of Thin Lizzy. And for that reason alone, I consider him, you know, in the highest regards of past members of Thin Lizzy that are still playing. You know, he was playing in the reformed Thin Lizzy for a while. I can't remember if he was in the John Sykes era or not, but he was in the Ricky Warwick era. And no disrespect to Ricky. I think Ricky Warwick is an amazing talent. And I've, you know, actually went to see a solo show in Belfast that he did a few months back. I think he's a really, really amazing musician, and he's a good front man. But, you know, he has been playing in the reformed Thin Lizzy, and he does do a great job. But the guy that Brian Downey has in Alive and Dangerous is just, he, in my mind, of any Thin Lizzy tribute that I've ever seen or heard, or any incarnation of Thin Lizzy without Phil Lynott, this guy does the best job. He's got the look, he's got the sound, his vocals are great, his bass playing's right on, and the other two guys in the band that fill out the guitar spots are incredible. In my mind, this is the best representation of Thin Lizzy that you will find today. And make no mistake, the drumming in Thin Lizzy is so, so unique, and nobody can do it like Brian. And I'm so proud that he's going to be here doing this. You know, I had heard about the band a couple years before the pandemic and had followed them kind of on YouTube, watching live videos. Then when the pandemic hit, just everything fell apart. And I wasn't sure that he was even doing anything. Obviously, everybody was inactive. But I took it upon myself when I booked this festival to reach out and get them on the gig. You know, little did I know, I mean, maybe I might have re-sparked the hunger in this band, because I think they booked like, you know, 10 Irish gigs around ours, which, you know, shit, I should have probably made a radius clause. But that's not what this is about. It's about having Thin Lizzy represented. It has to be done, and this is the best way that it can be done. I'm so fucking excited about this performance.
Downey's alive and dangerous. Brian Downey's a hell of a drummer, and I can't wait to see him. I think it's a really cool thing that we have him. Like how amazing.
Playing the old Lizzie set is just, it's a great feeling again. It's a real pleasure to play with musicians that have so much interest in the old band. They've obviously studied it over the years, and became really proficient in playing the old Lizzie tunes, and that's really half the battle for me. It's just a pleasure to play with some guys who really know how to play these tunes. The feel is all important, and I think we have it in spades. But it's just one of those things. Once you know these tunes, it's very hard to get it out of your system. So, for me, it's just a pleasure to play this stuff. I grew up with it. I played with the guys since I was like 16 or 17. I played with Phil since I was 14. And when he started writing the songs, all that stuff became very natural. It was really easy to play with Phil, him playing bass, me obviously playing drums. And, his ideas were great. Yeah, I had some input as well, obviously, and but that whole period was really great. Playing with Lizzie was just spectacular.
So that's a lineup, but just for night one of Frost and Fireland. Pretty killer lineup, rock and metal bands, and a reminder that there was an after party both nights. Here's Jarvis.
So I will mention that we have an after party each night that's happening. So after the shows end at the Nerve Center, we're going to end at 11:30 p.m. And by midnight, there's a bar down the street called the 720. They've got an awesome stage and an awesome PA. The first night will be Russ Tippins from Satan doing his solo performance, which is amazing. I've actually seen it in England myself. And it's basically him with an electric guitar and some awesome backing tracks. He plays a lot of really, really great songs. And he's got some original stuff, too, from the Russ Tippins band that is really awesome. So everybody out there that loves classic rock and that loves Satan is going to really, really dig this performance. It's not the kind of solo performance that you would think, a folk singer with an acoustic guitar. This thing really does fucking kick ass.
So Russ Tuppins from Satan playing the after party. Here's Russ Tuppins covering a classic from Led Zeppelin 1, Black Mountainside. Frost and Fireland 2022 on June 17th and June 18th. Tickets are still available at irongripheavymetal.com. Next week, we'll get right into night 2 of the festival, talk to more of the bands, and play some more tracks. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.